never may have, but I've never seen any report. I've heard
I have heard that it was exaggerated by Orson Welles himself, who did manage to parlay the whole incident into getting a sponsorship for his show, which was what, that's how they paid for the shows. So, but I wasn't there. So I really don't know. Until we get a time machine, we will never completely resolve all of these.
And if somebody happened to die or any kind of stuff like that really did happen, Orson Welles would have been put in freaking jail big time, dude. That would have not been tolerated back then.
Oh, the lawsuits against CBS.
Otto, you say you need a time machine, but it's possible that somebody that listened to it is still alive.
That is true.
About 95 years ago, 96.
It was like the late 30s. I think it was 38.
Yeah. So we're talking about what, 90 years ago?
There's some. Yeah. I think my mother was alive at the time. She's almost 100, but she didn't listen to it though. I don't think she listened to another show. But she did talk about it. But most of what she knew about it, she read in the papers, because the papers were all about it at the time. And what I had heard was that Orson Welles had kind of pushed it along. He had friends in the press, so they but again, it's like anything else. And again, we don't have, I mean, back then it was, you read the newspaper. That was it. And you listened to what your neighbors said. Now there would have been like about half a dozen live streams of people panicking, screaming through the streets, flash mobs. Where are the Martian? People having Martian parties.
That's what I'm talking about. In today's time, that really would
people calling you up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. With guns in their hands, gas bombs in their hands, and lighting up buildings and shooting guns.
Sounds like 4th of July in some places.
I will tell you something that I see. Something that I see, and something that I've seen much more lately than and I'm 71, in my earlier years, and that's people talking about the country, people talking about what's happening in the country, people talking about how did we get here, and to me this is pretty much a shock, because Americans have been known to be pretty much ignorant of their governance and the abilities of their government. But I'm seeing a change. I'm seeing a shift over the last 20 years, and I'm seeing a lot more awake and aware Americans today than I've ever seen.
But on the same argument, you've seen a lot of, well, I want to say U.S. citizens, I would say throughout the Western world, you've seen a lot of people that come up with their own theories and their own ideas and their own.
I agree.
Conspiracy theories, and
I agree. That's our job, though, isn't it? That's our job to put them straight.
Did you hear about that? About the 40-year-old spy from what country is that? Where they were going to take nuclear bombs? They were on boats and they were capture them. I can't think of the country. Down there near Florida.
Cuba,
yeah.
1962.
Cuba sent a spy, was a spy here in the U.S., in Congress and all that for the last 40 years. And he finally got busted by him screwing up. But he was sitting here where you're supposed to be checked out by the U.S. government, background checks and all that. How do you go from going from a country into another one, able to pull all, who knows, all the people you're getting help left or right, help from the people that sent you there? Okay, you're a spy for 40 years. And you're in Congress, in drug enforcement and all that, all sorts of politics you're in. And you're giving all this information back to your own home country. Okay, like how many ships you got, just all sorts of information.
Right. And news then has been going on for hundreds. thousands of years.
Yep.
Yeah, we found this out last year that he was here all that time for 40 years.
They have deep mole agents.
Yeah.
Well, for what most people consider certain things wrong. You're not going to find very many politicians that know how to build a nuclear bomb or know what it takes to fire up a nuclear reactor on a submarine. These things aren't shared at the level most people think. They aren't.
Yeah.
But what is shared is the electronics, the sonar, the radar, the things that steer these ships, so on and so forth. It is the electronics that is the most sought after and the most copied. But talking about anything as far as one country bleeding off into another, I think is definitely beneficial for us.
Mind you say politicians would know about advanced technology. I argue that a lot of politicians,
Some don't. Most don't.
Don't even have a fundamental understanding about the most simplistic of technologies.
I don't even understand how government works.
You don't have to be an expert in anything to be a politician.
Yeah.
You
the
do
Kennedy
that.
that's alive right now. Who's that guy? There's a Kennedy. He's a senator right now, and he was talking about the shrimp that Walmart had bought was radioactive. He had a picture of a chest burster from Aliens up. And he's like, if you eat this shrimp, you're going to turn into this. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
He's hilarious.
The politician, but I saw him. He had a speech either today or yesterday, or day before now, and talking about the US British sort of special relationship, and he was pushing the narrative of that the UK needs the US for defense and stuff, and he was saying that I much Britain needs the US, and I was just thinking at the time, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars in the 2000s. Yeah, it wasn't us who started those wars. It wasn't us who, or us Brits that started those wars. It wasn't us who needed the US aid.
Well, yeah,
it's the
you
opposite.
do need us.
And what about the Falkland Wars?
Well, we did give you support. Well, to be fair, the French did turn off the Argentinian missiles for you with their back door. I mean, otherwise that one troop transport would have hit the bottom. Their army was like crap, but their Air Force pilots were spot on. I think even one of the British naval officers said any country that could produce top race car drivers would produce top fighter pilots, but a lot of their bombs just wouldn't go off. And I suspect that, we all know you always have back doors on these things you sell to other countries. That's pretty common practice.
But my point was that this U.S. senator, and I can't remember his name.
Oh well, it's politics. They just spout. It's not any kind of realistic or nuanced view of UK American relations, and certainly. And I know that you guys have been were very helpful in the last several regional conflicts, shall we say. I know British troops have been all over the place, but on the other hand, though, there is the argument. I mean, you got to spend your money on something, and it's understandable that you wouldn't spend a lot of money on defense if there was this great big guy that was very interested in like throwing billions of dollars around and who really wanted a lot of military bases. I mean, I think for a while it was like, we don't want Europe to be too strong. We want America to be strong. No, Germany, you don't need an army. You've got 10,000 American soldiers. It was kind of, and you never, Germany, you never know when they're going to. Although you did make a good point about France the other day, Mark. I was going over the Treaty of Vienna, which is a fascinating subject, and it's like, oh yeah, France. Louis XIV running all over the place, and then the French Revolution under Louis XVI, and then oh my God, they declared war on everybody for 25 years, and it's like, geez, boy, those French were really an issue. My God.
You know what? whenever I sell guns, I always tell people I sell them to, the firing pins are separate. But
There you
seriously
go.
though, but I
That's
think
horrible.
this whole the king coming over and making sure he has great relations with us. I mean, the European Union, NATO said they didn't want anything to do with the war crimes that Trump was doing. So of course,
Well,
what didn't the British
let's say
leave?
alleged war crimes.
Well,
I
yeah,
have a
don't get me started.
question about that.
We're not going there. We're not going there. Listen, no,
Okay.
we're not going there. So
You know, I disagree with you a lot
that's,
of times.
Well, hey,
that's
guys.
beside my point.
No, he
My
knows.
point being
He knows
is
I'm
that,
here, and I growl.
well,
Yeah.
whenever
Well-
I hear the king coming over and trying to get this extra support, I mean, didn't the UK leave Brexit? Or I mean, leave. You know, that
Not
whole
Okay,
thing.
yes,
Slightly.
They were Brexit.
Uh,
No,
in
no,
reality,
hold on.
principle.
Let me do a timeout real quick. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to bring Untethered to an end right now, and
Fair enough.
we can
Fair
come
enough.
back to strange stories if you guys want to and get into all the good stuff. You guys have pretty much done everything on this. So let's bring this to an end, and we'll take a short break. We'll come back to strange stories. So before we end, let's get some socials. Mark, how can people find you?
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, me. Again, minds.com, username Medworthy.
Okay. How about you, Otto?
Well, you can check out my website. That's navakavada.org. That's NAVAKAVADA. It's spelled just like it sounds. You can also find me at minds.com as AutoX. And I'm also to be found occasionally at Roger's Hangout on Teams. And sometimes I'm just down at the corner. Messenger pigeons also reach me occasionally.
How about you, V? How can people find you?
I was gonna say, if you got any remote controlled mice, you know, put a little message on their back. No, I can tell you one place that you won't find me. You won't be finding me sitting on anything long, black, hard, and full of semen.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. I'll sleep more soundly tonight. As we all. Yes.
Now, at the moment, Roger is on the Liberty Bell, but it's not up and running right now, right, Roger?
The Liberty Beacon.
It's the Liberty Beacon.
Okay, but it
The Liberty
will be-
Beacon, and we are working on getting it back up and running. And yeah, it's pretty much the type of website that pretty much falls in line with the show we had this evening, which I absolutely enjoyed.
Okay. Now
Cool.
come back after the break. I think this was good. Going above the next one. It gets really good. I know the name throws you off. Don't think it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. But you can find me at minds.com, Roger_Hanson. Find me at X at Roger Hanson at ROGLOL1973. I also need to make a plug of this because I always forget to, but the Praetorian is on minds.com. It's a group. You guys, if you're on Minds, go check it out. Minds is also on YouTube and from